There are two types of tenancy agreements. There is a fixed tenancy agreement and a month-to-month or unfixed tenancy agreement. So a fixed tenancy agreement means that the tenancy dates are fixed. There's a start date of the tenancy, there's an end date of the tenancy, and so you know exactly when the tenant is coming in, when they're going to be occupying the unit, and when they're going to be leaving. Fixed tenancy agreements are preferable in Canada, and that's because you know how long they're going to be there, you know what to expect, you can prepare properly for that. Usually they're for 6 months to a year. Occasionally, landlords have been known to do more than 1 year, especially gated communities or communities where you would want somebody there for a long period of time. The tenancy ends when the end date is reached, and then the tenant has to move out by 1 p.m. of the date of the tenancy ending. That's 1 o'clock p.m. Not noon, not 11:59 p.m., not 9 a.m. It's 1 o'clock p.m. Unless the landlord and the tenant consent to a different arrangement, and then that's fine. So then there's the second type of tenancy agreement, a monthly or unfixed term. Means that there is a start date, but there's no end date. And how you end up with a month-to-month tenancy is if a tenant and a landlord have expired a fixed tenancy, usually this is how it happens, and the landlord decides to continue that on a month-to-month basis, so then they have the flexibility of deciding when the tenant is going to stay and leave. The best thing to do when you have a fixed-term tenancy is to renegotiate your tenancy again. Shouldn't have to do this year after year, but if you enjoy your place, you can contract for a longer term of the tenancy, and especially if you have a good relationship with your landlord. So what is in an actual tenancy agreement? What are the different things that need to be mandatory in a tenancy agreement for it to be lawful and legal? So the full contract details, including the postal codes of landlord, tenant, and the person who owns the building, if that person's not the landlord, must be on the agreement. The start and end date of the tenancy must be on the agreement. Whether the tenancy is a fixed term or month-to-month also needs to be notified, but I suppose that's kind of notified with the start and date of the tenancy. And then, of course, it sets out even more detail. You can find, if you're a landlord, you can find templates for a tenancy agreement online at the Residential Tenancy Branch website and download those if you do not have a tenancy agreement. Most landlords, especially corporate landlords, will have some sort of pro forma, meaning pre-existing form that they can use with respect to tenancy agreements. So they have all the clauses laid out already. Read your tenancy agreement when you get it, and also when you are ending your tenancy, so that you understand the terms of what you have agreed to and signed. And always make sure you agree and that you understand what is in the tenancy agreement. And if you don't agree and you don't understand, it's vital that you at least communicate with the person, if not get an attorney to look at the tenancy agreement and to dispute it.